Okay, today we're going to talk about the Arnold Classic UK and about the Strongman competition specifically. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what it is. What is the Arnold Sport UK? Well, it's actually called Arnold Classic UK Limited, and it's owned and managed by Eddie Hall. That's Eddie Stephen Hall and Stephen Michael. I can't pronounce his surname, but I've heard of this guy. He's an events manager. He's a successful entrepreneur. Um, Definitely someone you'd want to put on something like this. So between the two of them, they've managed to put this together. And Arnold isn't actually affiliated with it. He doesn't. All it is just using his branding. It's like with McDonald's. When you start a McDonald's, it's a franchise. You're just using their brand. Okay, and it's similar to that. They're just using Arnold's brand as part of his sort of global empire. But it's actually the two guys there on the left and right of Arnold who are responsible for this, and that's why a lot of people don't understand why Arnold's not going to be there. It's simply because he didn't put it on, he didn't organise it. It was Eddie and Stephen. So that's something you've got to understand firstly. And the reason why it's so important that this is successful is because firstly, it's another competition for athletes to make money at. It's another opportunity to promote the sport and the brand of Strongman, and another opportunity to create more jobs in the UK right now when there's difficult times for people. So I think it's very important that this goes well. The whole thing, not just the Strongman show. So the lineup is good, not as good as I would have liked it to have been. Unfortunately, we had Jerry Pritchett withdraw, which isn't a massive loss to be honest. But for me, the people I'm going to be watching out for the most is Irvine Toots, Ranu Heinler, Konstantin Janashia, Mitchell Hooper, and Alexei Novikov. I think they're going to be the ones to keep an eye out on. And we're going to talk about everything, all the events, all the potential candidates who will win those events, all the athletes who are most likely to win it, talk about as much as I possibly can. So these are the events. Now, I think the events are better than the athlete lineup, personally. I mean, we've got deadlift for reps, 100 kilogram dumbbell press, 500 kilogram beast yoke, bag toss over a 4 meter bar. Personally, I think it should have been a bit higher than that, 4.5 meters at a minimum, but hey ho. The Arnold stone carry, which I'm really looking forward to, and the Atlas stones. So I think the events are really good. We're going to talk more about the events in a minute. So the referees will be these two chaps, Rob Frampton and Stu Murray. It's a good selection. It's a good choice for referees. They're both very experienced in the sport, very knowledgeable, and they should be fair. We found out a few things about the rules, mostly about the deadlift. So if you're going to use these figure of 8 straps, you can't use the fingertip grip. It's cheating. You can't slam or drop the bar. It must be controlled. Fingers wrapped fully around the bar bottom, 2 knuckles around the bar. It's going to be, I think, 370 kilograms, and it's for reps. So they're definitely going to be strict about how the athletes grip the bar using the figure of 8 straps, because a lot of athletes have found ways to cheat in the recent years. And that's just not acceptable. That really just is not acceptable. So I'm hoping that they'll be as strict as the Shore Classic referees were. Maybe a little less, but along the same lines. So the throwing bag rules is a 4 meter bar. The bags must be kept in a straight line from the throwing frame. A lot of athletes like to put them at a diagonal stance. No, that's not allowed. That's mainly for crowd safety, because it's just for the safety. It's quite a small stage. So those are the rules for that, and there's also the rules for these bad looking boys, the Arnold stones. It's 15 meter course, that's what they said, and that's the furthest you'll actually have to go. So it's not you just keep going until you drop them. That's whoever does it the quickest or goes the furthest, and they both weigh differently. Both stones don't weigh the exact same, and the athletes can set up the stones however they like. There's no requirements on that per se, but you cannot drop the stones. So you've got to do that 15 meter course. That's the furthest you'll have to go. The quickest time wins, or whoever goes the furthest. So it's going to be an interesting event. To say the least, it's going to be interesting. But let's move on from that. So let's start talking about the events and who I reckon are the favourites to win these events. So for the deadlift, we got a lot of good deadlifters, people who are more than capable of lifting that weight for reps. Rhino Heinler, Mitchell Hooper, Alexei Novikov, and I'm going to say the wild card is Paul Smith. He's a very good deadlifter. He's still pretty new to the scene, so we still haven't really seen his full potential. Rhino Heinler is obviously a favourite. He's done 400 kilograms for 6 reps before, as we can see here in the picture. He's done over 1,000 pounds. He, considering his age as well, 41 I think he is. He's done 360 for 9 reps with the axle before. He's pulled 580 kilograms of silver dollar deadlift bar. He's an incredibly good deadlifter, so you would definitely consider him to be a favourite. Next up is Mitchell Hooper. He's pulled 475 kilograms before. He's pulled over 1,000 pounds twice actually now. He absolutely killed it at World's Strongest Man on both the qualifying deadlift event, the ladder, and the car deadlift. He did so well on both of them, especially considering how he was a rookie. We've seen him do 350 for 6 reps before, and his deadlift just improves every week, so you consider him a favourite. Next up, Alexei Novikov. We saw him set the record on the 18-inch deadlift. What was it, 551.5, something like that, kilograms? 537.5 kilograms. Alexei is probably one of the greatest deadlifters right now in strongman, especially when it comes to reps. We saw him at the Shore Classic do the Hummer Tire deadlift, set a new record on that. He made it look easy for 549 kilograms. He is very good at deadlifting. Seen him do 350 for 7 before with the axle. He is definitely, probably, I think actually he's the best deadlifter right now in professional strongman. I don't think we saw the best of him at the Cardiff Deadlift Championship. Looked like he had an injury, so he really wasn't at his best there. But we've seen him deadlift so many times just to perfection. And World's Strongest Man this year, he did amazing on the final deadlift event. So he's definitely, probably for me, the favourite to win the dumbbell event. The deadlift event. The 100 kilogram dumbbell, I'm looking forward to this big time. I think probably my favourite going in, again, has to be Alexei Novikov, but don't write off Mitchell Hooper. Obviously, Sadrunas Savickas. I'm going to say a wild card, Pado Dwyer. So why do I think Alexei is probably the favourite? Well, it's just obvious, really. We've seen him do such amazing things before at the at the Arnold Strongman Classic. He did 125 kilograms for 7 reps. He's just got perfect technique when it comes to dumbbell pressing. He's just, every time he won it at the Giants Live Strongman Classic, he did incredibly actually on that. He's locked out 140 kilograms in training in the gym. Just his potential in this event is just incredible. We've seen him do 110 kilograms for 7 reps in the past. He is by far the favourite to win this event. And also the Rogue Invitational, when he did the Cyril deadlift ladder, he absolutely blitzed it. In fact, he made it look easy, which it is not. He really has the perfect technique for this. But don't write off Mitchell Hooper. He has done very well on dumbbell pressing events as well. A Shore Classic 2022, he tied for second. I think he did 110 kilograms for 5 reps. At the Giants Live Classic 2022, finished second on that. At the Arnold UK 2021, I believe he was there, yeah. He did 110 kilograms for 6. So I would definitely say he's going to give Alexei Novikov a hard time. Obviously, Sadrunas Savickas, nothing needs to be said there. His record and reputation for overhead pressing speaks for itself. There's nothing that needs to be said there, except for the fact that he is getting older, but I still wouldn't write him off. The 500 kilogram beast yoke, I'm looking forward to this. Now, probably my favourite for this is Mitchell Hooper. Second favourite would be Alexei. Third, Konstantin Janashia. And then I'll go with a wild card, Gavin Bilton. So Mitchell Hooper definitely excels at this event more than probably any other strongman, with exception to Evan Singleton right now, but he will not be there. So that's probably his biggest threat on this event, and he's not going to be competing at the Arnold. Now, Alexei has a very good pass record. He finished third at World's Strongest Man, finished third at the Shore Classic this year on the heavy yoke. He is good at the yoke, but I would not say he's as good as Mitchell Hooper. Yes, at Europe's Strongest Man, he won it in 2021, but there was no Mitchell Hooper there. So that's something you can't really take into equation. So I don't really see him beating Mitchell Hooper. I mean, look at this. This was 400 kilograms, 15 meters in 5 seconds. Sorry, that's my alarm. 5 seconds. That's outrageous. I mean, I don't know if that's... He says that's verified. And then we saw him at the Shore Classic 2022 where he won it. He did a 506 kilogram super yoke. And again, he just makes it look... very little effort being used. He makes it look borderline easy, which it is absolutely 100% not. So I definitely would say he's the favourite to win it. And as you can see here, World's Strongest Man, he absolutely blitzed it. So quick. But I wouldn't write off Konstantin Janashia as well. He did very well on the yoke at the Shore Classic this year. He has done well on the yoke events in the past. He's got the size, he's got the strength. I would definitely take him into consideration. So the bag toss over the 4 meter bar. Now we don't really have any of the best in the world at this. I would say if we had Smork Stellis here, I would put him as the favourite to win. Brian Shaw, for example, I'd put him as a favourite to win. A few other names off the top of my head I'll think about later, but yeah, I mean obviously if Hafthor Julius Bjornsson was there, he would win it, no problem. But yeah, I mean for me, Konstantin Janashia would be one of my favourites. Mitchell Hooper, Alexei Novikov, Irvine Toots would be my wild card. He has done well in these events in the past. He is very tall, very explosive. I would definitely take him into consideration as a contender to potentially win it. But for me, it will most likely be this guy, Alexei Novikov. He didn't do too well at the Shore Classic on this event. I just feel he got it slightly wrong. He was applying a different technique to everyone else, which I don't think he had trialed and tested properly. So he was going a little bit slower, because as you can see, the way he's gripping it there, it's completely different to how everyone else did. That's probably why he didn't do as well as he could have done on this, but he has done well on these events in the past. For me, Konstantin Janashia is someone to take into consideration. He did okay at the Shore Classic this year, finishing 7th on this event. World's Strongest Man 2021, he finished 4th. So he's also very tall, very explosive, very strong. I would definitely take into consideration as a potential winner for it as well. But I'd also take this guy. I mean, he finished 8th at the Shore Classic 2022 on the bag toss event, which was higher actually. It's 4.5 metres. So although we don't have the best in the world doing this event, we still got some pretty good bag toss athletes. So the Arnold Stone Carry, this is the one that I'm really looking forward to. I want to see who does what, because we don't have what I consider to be the best in the world at this. Would be the likes of Mark Felix, someone like Kevin Fairs would be another one I'd take in consideration on that. Andy Black would do well on this event. So we don't have these top guys right now, but I'm going to say Paul Smith, Alexei Novikov, Pat O'Dwyer and Irvine Toots again. Those are my favourites to win this event. We've seen Toots do well on this event before, all the way back when it was the Nickel Stones at Europe's Strongest Man in 2020, finished 4th. He's obviously progressed since then, I would say. Pat O'Dwyer finished 3rd on the Nickel Stones at Europe's Strongest Man 2020. I'd say he would be very good at this event as well. Also, we've got to take into consideration this guy, Paul Smith. He's got a ridiculous amount of grip strength. He's done well on events like this before in other competitions. 2nd on the Hercules hold this year at the, I believe it was the Giants Live Classic, Strongman Classic. 3rd at the Farmers at the Classic. He does very well on carrying events in general. I just think it's down to his grip strength. He's got fantastic grip strength, and it just one of those sort of things that suits him. He's very good at carrying and moving events. So I would say he's also a favourite. Obviously, being British, I'd like to see him win, but also this guy, Alexei Novikov. I mean, his track record for it speaks for himself. He's done very well at events that are carrying, like Farmer's Walk, frame carries, Hercules Hold. Events like this, he's proven time and time again that he's good at this sort of stuff. But these stones, it's definitely a knack to it. You either have it or you don't. So I can't really predict too much because I haven't seen them in practice before. So there's not a lot to go on. So the Atlas stones, we got quite a few good stone lifters. Constantine Janashia, Gavin Bilton did really well at Cardiff. Mitchell Hooper, obviously, take him into consideration. Alexei Novikov, great stone lifter, and good old Toots as well. I like that surname. So Mitchell Hooper has to be one of the favourites. I'd say he's progressing at the Stones. I wouldn't say it's his best event per se, but some of the best stone lifters in Strongman right now will not be at the Arnold UK, so that's good for him. Shore Classic, he did really well, finished third against some fantastic stone lifters. World's Strongest Man 2022, finished third, fantastic, very, very impressive. So yeah, I would definitely put him as a favourite to win this event. I'd also say this guy, Constantine Janashia, he's been around for a long time, and he's done well at stone events before, at the stone events. Europe's Strongest Man 2022 finished third, World's Strongest Man 2021 finished sixth, Shore Classic this year 7th. So although he's not the best in the world, taking into consideration that probably most of the best stone lifters right now in Strongman are not there, he's got a good chance to finish in the top 3 on this event. Also, we've got to take into consideration Gavin Bilton. He's improving all the time, and at Cardiff I had to put it twice because he did so well. Finished second on the stones. Yes, they're castle stones, but it's basically the same thing, and he absolutely blitzed it. It was so impressive, so I want to take him into consideration. But I would say this guy's probably the favourite to win, I think, personally, although again he isn't necessarily the best stone lifter in the world. He's got a good track record and quite consistent when it comes to the stones. Europe's Strongest Man 2022 first, Cardiff this year third, the Giants Live Classic this year third, Europe's Strongest Man 2021 first, the Arnold UK 2021 fifth. I'd say he's got a good chance to win this event. So that's my thoughts on that. Right, so who do I think is going to finish in the top 3? I think Alexei Novikov's going to win, and Mitchell Hooper's going to finish second. Now I think it's going to be neck and neck all the way to the end between those two, and then I'm going to say Constantine Janashia to finish the podium and take that third place. That's my predictions. Tell me what your predictions are. Share your thoughts below in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to keep you up to date with all things Strongman. Thanks for watching.